Well, it's been about a week since the launch of the Lamplighters League, and that is the next real big turn-based strategy RPG we have. Um, so think XCOM or Phoenix Point, games like that. Phoenix Point was derived from former XCOM devs, but you get the point. Build up a team, you go out into a world in an isometric view, top-down view, combat, movement, and everything takes place in a grid space. Your characters have limited ability points or action points they can use per turn. We have to decide on moving or shooting or reloading or other actions or other skills. And Lamplighters League does borrow a lot from that, but it's also very different in a lot of ways. Typically, when you're taking a look at a game like this, turn-based strategy RPG, when you're taking a look at a turn-based strategy RPG, you're going to be recruiting soldiers to your team. You're going to be leveling them up. And a lot of games like XCOM, where if you don't balance who you're leveling up across your squads, if you have a squad wipe later on in the game, when a difficulty spike occurs, you're going to kind of be in trouble. Lamplighters League does away with this. Lamplighters League gives you a crew of, as the developers call them, misfits, who joined the Lamplighters League.
Mic off.
And they all have their own personalities, their own scripts, their own everything. They're all their own unique classes too. While a couple might share an overarching class of, say, a saboteur, they are then uniquely different in the various skills that they bring to the table as well. You're gonna be running into points where they just can't have them die, which makes sense because you formed a tight-knit, globe-trotting team of essentially treasure hunters fighting some evil force, the Banished Court, and that's all fine. That's all fine and dandy. Hits do have a percentage to hit, and I found myself in my fair share of seeing 95% to hit with a person who attacks twice with the same action point, and watching both of them miss. Not even an evade, just watching both of them miss. So the percentage chances to hit are back with games such as XCOM or Phoenix. So if you're not a fan of that, steer clear. But I am a fan of tactical RPGs, strategy RPGs like this, so it's something I dealt with. You do have characters that have melee skills, which you don't have to worry about them missing. You just run up and fucking punch them. It's great. Now, each agent, each member of each mercenary of the Lamplighters League has their own skill tree that you can spend your accrued skill points on. Everyone shares the same pool of skill points, though, so you do have to allocate them as you see fit across all of your different operatives. And as you move down the skill tree, skill points get more and more expensive. Now, they do also have missions that can take place where you send off one person alone to kind of do the mission, do recon, whatever, to set up another further mission down the road. And then you take 4 members as you see fit based on their skills, how you want them to operate together onto the field. Now, when you get into the actual gameplay, one thing that is very different from other games in this genre is that you have both kind of like a free roam mode, a recon mode, and then you have your actual combat mode. So while you are not in combat, you are free to split the party up, go around, use their various abilities as you see fit, set traps, lure enemies away, take them out quietly, take out groups of enemies outside of combat if they line up for you. It is a very nice change, and it allows a little bit more exploration, way more setup. Now, you could kind of do something similar with, let's go with XCOM, but it's still all operated on the same kind of turn-based system. Here, the enemies will continue to roam. You can then move one character to one spot, get them into cover, and have them sit there and hide, move another character, move another character, move another character, then initiate it all with, say, throwing a frag grenade, or throwing a trap, or exploding a explosive crate that some enemies are near. Combat's pretty quick and dirty, pretty quick and simple. You're fighting what appear to be space Nazis. They just kind of have that, they kind of look like Killzone characters. And, well, speaking of what things look like, it is a very stylized. I think it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. But it does look like you are fighting off-brand, great value Nazis. That appearance is something that just kind of evokes, oh, this is an evil organization to many. So that's what they went with. Now, one gripe I did have, particularly playing on PC, is positioning your characters for attacks, especially characters that use melee attacks, is gnarly awful. As you're moving your cursor around on the enemy, trying to get them to select them, it'll give you a little tiny pop-up where the melee character is going to move as well. And it's not always an intelligent move. You could have an enemy at the end of cover, and your character might run around out into the wide open and punch this character, kill them, then be standing out in the open as multiple enemies are going to take their turn and tee off. That is a very bad system. Also, the targeting of enemies is awful. For a character that has 2 attacks for 1 action point, if you want to attack the same character, you then have to reselect that same enemy. It automatically will send you to a random thing nearby. You want to attack this other random enemy that poses no threat, this melee enemy that will take 2 turns to reach you, too bad, you're going to target them. Better hope you reselect correctly. Or how about this barrel that's random, this random exploding crate that's right next to 2 of your teammates who are behind cover. Let's target that and blow that up instead. There is definitely a lot of work that can be done with the UI. To make it more enjoyable, more playable, more consistent. But those are some rather small gripes. But overall, it feels good to play. It's fun to play. I only recorded from the first few missions. I didn't want to get anything too spoilery. Between missions, you go back to your hub, your Lamplighters League headquarters, ran by the mysterious Mr. Locke, one of the last true Lamplighters around. From here, you can upgrade weapons, heal your team, buy supplies to carry in. For example, you can have a character carry in, say, some bandages to heal, a frag grenade, a shock grenade, a smoke grenade, stuff like that. You're kind of fucking dumb. Still there. She's still in the window, Joe. You're kind of a fucking stupid cat. That's always nice. That's always neat. Leveling up your characters is done from here. Your mission select is done from here. Here as well between missions. Jojo, what are you doing? Here is where you'll also select your missions. You'll get a view of the world, a map. It'll be divided up into areas, etc., whatnot. And you'll select your missions from here as well. And then there's also a kind of main screen where you can see all of your accrued characters, be it specialists who are here for healing or weapon crafting, as well as your mercenaries and agents who will be going on missions for you, and you'll be able to get a little bit more insight into the world between conversations between them. And there is a lot of conversations, and the voice acting is done fairly well. The voice acting of the main cast is definitely something you do want to pay attention to. It is enjoyable. Outside of that, there's nothing else too cinematic. Most of it's done. Most of anything that would be a cinematic is done just between conversations happening in the field or conversations happening back at the Lamplighters headquarters. So, I'm not going to get much there, but these sort of tactical strategy RPGs never really do have a lot in the way of cinematics outside of maybe an introduction to the game or closing to the game over, etc. But Lamplighters If you're a fan of tactical RPGs, it's definitely worth checking. That much I can say for sure. I am a fan of tactical RPGs. I am a fan of this kind of story they're trying to tell. Just a bunch of mercenaries who are together. You get more attached to them as well, since they are actually full-fledged characters. So you do want to keep them alive, etc. It is only running at $50, $49.99, so it is a fairly good deal for a fairly long game. And it is a longer game because of how you play it. So it is slower in combat. Exploration will be a little slow as you're trying to stealth around and you're exploring, grabbing lore and grabbing supplies and everything from the mission spaces. It is also available on Games Pass. So if you are a member of PC Games Pass or Xbox Games Pass or Ultimate Games Pass, you do have an option of going through those platforms to play it as well. I played it on both Steam and Xbox Games Pass. Plays the same, no noticeable difference. The game runs fantastic, no hiccups at all, which I would hope it's something being so as stylized as it is. It's not pushing for realism. It's not, say, Cyberpunk 2077 or something massive like Starfield or Forza Motorsport, which came out, which is having some issues on PC. Some frame rate dips here or there. Lamplighters will just hold steady the entire time. So you're in luck. It is a very good PC port. Outside of that, like I said, if you are a fan of strategy RPGs or turn-based tactic RPGs, definitely check out Lamplighters League. It is a fantastic, unique take on the entire genre. There's more than just combat in each mission zone. There's a little bit of exploration you can do. You can even take care of enemies outside of combat. Character abilities, if they're available, such as stunning them, stun mines them, will shock them, kill them, knocking them out, assassinating them, tackling groups. As long as you have those ability points remaining, you'll be able to do it. A lot of stuff outside of combat. Never be able to fully avoid combat, but you will be able to take advantage of the play space outside of combat. Like I said, if you're a fan of turn-based tactics RPGs, strategy RPGs, with some good characterization, a decent world-spanning artifact hunt between a good secret organization and an evil secret organization, Lamplighters League is probably just for. And if you enjoyed this quick overview, a little bit of review, being as that I do recommend it to people who are fans of this genre, please go ahead and give the video a like and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.